Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the fact that we're meeting today in the midst of a government shutdown. We are taking testimony on an issue and an area upon which this committee has no jurisdiction, which would be the Environmental Protection Agency and the Clean Water Act. I do sit on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, which does have a good part of that jurisdiction. So if, hopefully if there were real issues to be heard, the T&I committee would be hearing them about abuses of the 404 permitting process. Secondly, Energy and Commerce also has jurisdiction. This committee does not. So we're here today to stage a hearing. I heard some incredible hyperbole, no offense, Mr. Chairman, during the opening remarks, armed SWAT teams. I'm quite familiar with law enforcement. An armed SWAT team is a particular specialty, and they carry automatic weapons, long arms, and other things. These were law enforcement agents of both the state of Alaska and the federal government entering onto federal lands, and they were carrying holstered sidearms. That isn't a SWAT team raid. Now, let's not get a little overboard here and say that somehow that constitutes a SWAT team. And it's routine for law enforcement officers to carry sidearms, that has been blown out of proportion. Secondly, the issue of the 404 permits. Some people think that if you blow the top off of a giant mountain and you bury 7 miles of a stream, that you're having some impact on water quality. Others don't. Hard to believe, but that's where the EPA acted retroactively to say, well, maybe when the Bush administration said that blowing the top off this mountain and filling in 11 miles of stream had no consequence. In Oregon, you can't even drive through a stream in many places. You can't harvest timber proximate to a stream. These people are just going to fill them in. I guess then you don't have a stream anymore, so you don't have to worry about the impacts, but a little bit odd to me. So to say, gee, they acted somehow arbitrarily in this case is not true. This was a huge and immediate impact and an irrevocable impact. They're not going to put the stream in a culvert. They're not going to dig it up again, and it's going to cause leachate forever. And then, finally on that topic, their actions were upheld by the D.C. Circuit Court. Again, this is all out of the jurisdiction of this committee, so we're having a pretend hearing here on something that we can't do anything about. But in any case, I'd just like to lay out a few facts. And finally, Bristol Bay. Don and I are going to disagree over Bristol Bay and the potential impacts here. But you're looking at hundreds of thousands of tons of mining debris in the largest open pit mine in North America that are somehow going to be sequestered forever and not have any impact on the fisheries in Bristol Bay, despite the fact that they would be mining immediately around a number of the major tributaries, and they would in fact disrupt some of the major tributaries. There's been some talk about, oh, we'll provide some other wetlands and we'll do this and we'll do that. We're going to do geoengineering in order to disturb an environment that is perpetual and balanced and sustainable and providing more than $1.5 billion a year of value throughout the economy of Alaska and the West Coast. This impacts fishers from my state also. This is a very real issue. The EPA put forward a draft report after some concerns. They pulled it back. They wrote another. It's still in peer review. We haven't heard the results yet. And they have not initiated a process over which this committee has no jurisdiction yet. So that's why we're here today. There are a few other real things out there. I've had timber sales in my district suspended. All across the West, all the timber sales have been suspended on both BLM and Forest Service lands. The king crab fishing fleet is in port because they can't get their quotas. Real economic impacts because of a war on government by the Republican Party. That's why we're here today. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.